Donald Trump is currently doing a rally in Michigan that is unhinged. He sounds crazy, old, senile, and more insane than ever. And he's speaking to an auditorium that is half full. It's literally the size of a high school gymnasium, and it's half full. Now, he's been blaming this sort of thing on Joe Biden, but I don't think you can blame this on him. I think this is a real sign that enthusiasm is not on his side anymore. I don't necessarily want to make any predictions about what this means in November. I know sometimes I'm like, we're going to win. Sometimes I'm like, we're not going to win. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, it's going to be really close. But I want to just be clear that you definitely want enthusiasm on your side as we head towards the last month into this race. And Donald Trump does not appear to have it. Here's Donald Trump explaining where he says his taxes are going to come from, his tax plan for the country.
Her bill raises taxes, whereas my idea is not idea, it's going to be a fact, is to lower. I gave you the biggest tax cut in history, and we're going lower because we're going to rely on so many other things.
Donald Trump gave corporations and billionaires like himself the largest tax break in history. He did not give that to middle-class families. In fact, middle-class families largely paid for that tax cut that he gave to his rich friends and family. And I love that he just says we're going to rely on many other things. This man has no plans. He has no plans. His only plan is to get out of jail. That's all he's trying to do. Here he is talking about how we are going to face a record depression if Kamala Harris were to win.
This is a communist tax, it's called, and it's never used. Nobody's ever even heard of using it. But it's no good, and it's something that we're not going to let happen because we will be driven into a depression, the likes of which we probably only seen in 1929. Kamala.
The stock has never been higher, for one. I mean, I know that's not the only way in which you can measure an economy, and there are real people who are hurting right now because of things outside of control of certainly the president. Inflation has affected every single major economy. America has fared the best as it comes to recovering from inflation. So thank you, Joe Biden, for that. But inflation is not an American product. It is a worldwide phenomenon that America has recovered quickest from. But also, just as an FYI, this is something that Donald Trump said in 2020.
Because they will destroy this country. Our country will go into a depression, the likes of which we have not seen since 1929, and maybe worse. So keep backing them. But you know it's wrong, and I really do believe it's only habit. That's the only reason you can be doing it. Under my continued leadership, we will continue.
It didn't happen then. It's not going to happen now. He is out. It's like a terrible, it's like The Godfather 7. Like, he's just out of ideas. It's boring. Here's Donald Trump blaming Joe Biden because he has small crowd sizes. And then I'm going to show you the size of Joe Biden's crowd, or the size of Donald Trump's crowd.
You got to think of it. I just left Wisconsin. We 5 days ago, we had a sort of a rally. It wasn't supposed to be. 60,000 people showed up in Wisconsin. But the White House wouldn't give us proper security coverage. So we end up in a room of about 900 people. You have 60,000 people, 50 to 60,000 people outside waiting, but they don't want that because they don't want crowds. What they are doing is such a disgrace to our country. And so to those people in Wisconsin that didn't make it, I think they love us, and I think they're going to vote. By the way, we're up in all of the polls. We're up in every swing state.
Do you know how many people 60,000 is? About that much. So he's saying this many people were waiting outside a small area that could fit 900. Do you think that's true? I'd like to see photo evidence of that. I don't think that's true. In fact, I would wager to say that is a lie. That man is lying because that's all he does is lie. Now, the reason why he's lying is because this is what his crowd actually does look like. So yeah, no wonder why Donald Trump is becoming increasingly unhinged. He can tell that he is losing support, that he is probably heading towards a loss, and Jack Smith is right behind him with real criminal charges about overturning our election. I know everyone is just feeling a little bit like nothing ever sticks to this guy. I really do feel like his luck has run out, and that I know it's like, this is it, this is the time. No, I really do feel like this is it. And I just want to give a shout out to Jack Smith and his team, because they are working tirelessly with their heads down. I just think about how, like, each day they go into work just trying to do what they can to make sure that justice is upheld. And at each and every step, the Supreme Court and Donald Trump and the Republican Party, it seems like we're doing everything they could to try to stand up against them and justice, and they still found a way to submit evidence to court to make sure that Donald Trump pays for his crimes for his part in trying to overturn the 2020 election. And so it is incredibly important that we make sure that Donald Trump loses in November so that he faces justice. And I just want to show this one last part, because I just thought this is not hilarious, but just so telling about how Teamsters were kind of in support of Donald Trump. Here's who they want to support.
Overtime. I used to hate to pay overtime. When I was in the private sector, as they say, oh, I don't want over. You know, I shouldn't tell you this. I'd go out and get other people and let them work regular time. It's terrible. I'd say, no, get me 10 other guys. I don't want to have time and a half. I don't want to have. But it'll be great. I mean, it'll be, those three things are great. But our seniors really deserve it because they've been decimated.
So thank you, former President Trump, for saying that you don't like paying overtime, because you're a cheap con man who though the working people are with you, you are not with the working people. And though the working people are with you, literally in that video, they are bored out of their minds. My God.
Private sector, as they say, oh, I don't want over. You know, I shouldn't tell you this. I'd go out and get other people and let them work regular time.
They're all so bored.
I'd say, no, get me 10 other guys. I don't want to have
having side conversations.
But it'll be great. I mean, it'll be, those three things are great. But our seniors really deserve it because they've been decimated.
Oh, and I'm just going to end this with the difference of a Kamala Harris rally. It's just, you can't compare the two. That's what I mean. Enthusiasm is on our side. Justice is on our side. I do believe if karma is real, it is also on our side. So I'll see you tomorrow.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?